So now we're getting ready to place all of these different views on some sheets. Okay, so let's start by just making some sheets. I'm going to right click on where it says sheet and say new sheet. It's going to ask me to use a title block, so I can go load and I can pick title blocks from a server or something. There's special families that you can create. We've got lots of CAD clips on that. So in this case I'm just going to use the default one, but if you hit load inside of here, you can go down to title blocks and there's some default installed ones. You can start off with those and you can go in and edit and modify those. Notice that these are RFA family files, so you can load different title block families through that. And I'm just going to go with the one that comes with this default template file. Remember, if you want more title blocks available, readily available, load them into your template, your project template file, and they'll all be listed here, right? So we say OK, and it makes a new sheet. Okay, puts A101 on there. I can zoom in, I can go down, and I can click on these different fields. I can change the project number, I can change the issue date, the author, the checker, the date. So I'm double clicking once, okay, and then clicking again. And so I can change these fields. There's other places as well. Some of these fields in here are particular just to this sheet, and some of them are particular to other sheets throughout the project, like the owner and the project name is typical, will be on each sheet, and that's like a these are parameters, and they're like kind of like attributes in AutoCAD, but much smarter. So now I've created a sheet. If I hit my plus, I've got an A101. I can rename that after. Watch. Right click, new sheet, hit OK. Right click, new sheet, hit OK. Right click, new sheet, hit OK. And I encourage you to make more sheets and populate those with all the different views that you want to use, that you're used to doing. So I'm going to right click on here. Let me just minimize this so you can see. Right click and say rename, and I'm going to call this A100, and I'll call this cover sheet. Okay, there it is. It's going to populate that sheet down here with that information. Oh, I'm actually not in that view. Double click on my 100, and there it is. Okay, A100 cover sheet. Now double click on this one. I don't have to be in the view to rename it. And then rename this guy, and we'll call it A101. We'll call this plans. Okay, good. It's going to do the information there. Right click on here, rename A102 elevations. Okay, perfect. Right click, rename. Some actual boring stuff here. Sections. Okay. So now if I open up my A103, there it is. If I open up my A102, there that one is. Okay. What's the owner? Okay, the owner, click, click. The owner is going to be CAD clips. Click out. Project name is going to be my first project. My first RAC project. Click out. Okay. Now, project number I can put in here, and we'll call it 2011-015. Okay. Project issue date, we can say September 2011 or whatever you want. Author, initials, DG. Checker, we're going to put a little NA. Okay. So now, the interesting thing, there's another field on here which is automatic. You can't change it. It's a plot date. Okay, I believe it is. I'd have to check that. So interesting enough, let's have a quick look at some of these fields. This field and this field are typical on all the sheets. If I go to any sheet, it's going to have that information on there. Okay. This information here is particular to the sheet. It's going to say cover sheet because this says cover sheet. If I go to plans, and I zoom in, this one is going to say plans. Okay. The project number is going to show up on each sheet. The project date is going to show up on each sheet. Drawn by is not. This is particular to the sheet. If someone else is doing this, then they put their initials in there. So each one of these fields can be a little bit different. Checked by is the same thing. Maybe I'm checking this one. Okay, so these are parameters, and we have lots of CAD clips on how to create your own title blocks. This is particular to this sheet. The scale will show up once we start to actually populate some views on here. Okay, so different fields depending. Some of it is project across the whole project, and some of it is just sheet based. So we're going to just zoom out after we've made our lovely sheets here and get a view ready. Double click, because we're going to go in our next lesson and we're going to adjust the size of our views, and then we're going to drag them on here and see if the scale fits and everything else. So let's do a save right now. We'll come back and start to populate our sheets with some views.